Okay, students, the next video is related to amine, uh, or we can say nitrogen containing functional group. नाइट्रोजन कंटेनिंग फंक्शनल ग्रुप जो कि आपके कोर्स में शामिल हैं, उनमें फर्स्ट है अमीन, नाइट्राइल्स, amide and nitro. Amine is not in your functional group. That was a part of picture जो कि मैंने copy की है. So that's why it is here. Otherwise, it is not in your course. The last one is nitro group, which is related to oxygen containing nitrogen functional group. That is NO2. One by one, we are going to discuss them. The first group is very simple. ये आपने class 10 में भी पढ़ा था in functional group identification. That is R NH2. NH2 is amine group. Amine group can come in three forms. This one is primary amine because it is directly connected to one R. If there are two R and one H, it is secondary amine. Secondary amine is connected to two alkyl group and one hydrogen. But if there are all three R's, it would be tertiary amine. So amino group is very simple, in which the long chain is connected with R. If the long chain is connected with NH2, it would be amino group. Primary amine, secondary amine, and tertiary amine. Let us do some working examples of these. If it is the long chain, and here I have NH2. Now, how would we identify? First of all, whenever you are going to identify the functional group in any organic compound, try to find out the heteroatom. As we know that these are carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That is a 5-carbon ring. Sorry, 5-carbon chain, and the heteroatom is over here. So we will convert it into journal form. The whole carbon chain would be R, and the functional group is NH2. That means it is primary amine. Let us do another example. If we have this sort of chain, now the first criteria to find out the functional group I would suggest is to find the heteroatom. In this compound, the heteroatom is here nitrogen. Nitrogen is connected to 1, 2, and 3 carbon this side, that means R. 1, 2, and 3 carbon this side, that means again R. And on this side it is H. So if I write the general formula would be R and H. That means it is secondary amine. I hope that amino group is clear to you. Now we are moving towards next group. The next group is nitrile. Nitrile is carbon directly bonded with nitrogen. As nitrogen can form 3 bonds and with one lone pair, it is stable. So if nitrogen is directly connected to carbon by triple bond, this group is known as nitrile. We also call this group cyanide, but in IUPAC naming, we would call it nitrile group. Let us do some examples of nitrile. If it is like this, carbon triple bond with nitrogen. So in this representation, we have CN, one carbon, another carbon, third one, and fourth one. The criteria should be to find out heteroatom. As we can see, the heteroatom is present over here, and the other group is R. So the general formula is RCN, and the functional group present over here is nitrile. Now we are going to do the third example, the third group which is present in your course, that is amide. I told you in last class that C double bond with O is carbonyl. If carbonyl is one side connected with R and another side connected with N, it can be NH2, it can be NR2, it depends. But the linkage we are going to find out is carbonyl connectivity with N. If we see here, we have carbonyl which is directly connected to N. This type of linkage is known as amide linkage. Amide linkage and amine linkage are different. What is the difference? In amine, we have R NH2. Here, NH2 is directly bonded with R. There is no carbonyl in between. But when we talk about amide, in amide, we have R, carbonyl, and then NH2. So there is a huge difference. If carbonyl is present, it would be amide. If carbonyl is not present, it would be amine. Amine, example, AMINE is present over here. And amide, where last part is represented by D, AMIDE. So it would be carbonyl and nitrogen linkage. Let us recall three that we have discussed. Then we will move towards fourth one. The first one we discussed is amine. The first one we discussed is amine. Amine is R NH2. Okay. Amine, nitrogen connected with R. It is primary amine. R N R and H. It is secondary amine. R N R and R. It is tertiary amine. Primary, one alkyl group. Secondary, two alkyl group. Tertiary, three alkyl group. Then we discussed R C triple bond with N. Cyanide group is known as nitrile. This one is nitrile. This one is amine. Now, the third group we discussed is amide group. In amide, R, C, O, N should be there. And these two bonds of N, they can be connected with hydrogen. One of them can either be connected with R or both of them could be connected with R. So these three functional group we have discussed, and the last one is nitro group, which is remaining. Let us move towards nitro group. What is nitro group? When any alkyl chain is connected with NO2, it is called nitro group. R, NO2. These are nitro compound. Nitro compound are NO2. That is the general representation. If we will look for the examples, so it could be like this. Now in this example, if I am looking for the functional group, I want to identify what functional group is there. So first of all, I would look for the heteroatom. The heteroatoms are nitrogen and oxygen. And this one is 1, 2, 3 and 4 member carbon chain. So the general formula I'm going to write is RNO2. And wherever there is a RNO2, it would be nitro group. Now let us do some working example from the compounds. I have a compound over here in example number 7. If I want to identify the functional groups that are present, I'm just going to start from the previous understanding. The first functional group we discussed is double bond ene. The first functional group ene is present. Then I would look for the heteroatoms. How many heteroatoms are there? This one is heteroatom OH group, and we discussed OH group is ol or alcohol. This whole group is a heteroatom group. Heteroatom group in which NH is there and it is directly bonded with C double bond O. So if I'm going to write the generalized formula, I would consider this whole chain as R, C, double bond with O, and then N H or N R. This functional group, can you guess it? It would be amide. I told you amide is RCON. That one is amide group. Okay, so there are three functional group present over there: alkene, alcohol, and amide. Let us do another example. Okay, here we also have another compound which is nitrogen containing. So I'm going to solve it for you. That is example number 15. The same practice we are going to follow. If we are going to identify the functional group, first of all, we will look for the heteroatom. So this one is heteroatom over here, nitrogen. Nitrogen is one side connected with alkyl group, that is R. Second side also R, and third side also R. So that means nitrogen is bonded with 3R group. This type of functional group, as we have discussed, can you guess it? It is tertiary amine. Amino group was RNH2, but if we replace these two hydrogen as well with R, so it would be tertiary amine. The next example is also nitrogen containing, and here I'm going to use the same technique. First of all, I would identify the heteroatom. First heteroatom is there, second heteroatom is there. So there are two heteroatoms, but both are NH2 group. That means primary amine. NH2 are this side, again NH2 are this side. So that one is diamine. The functional group which is present is amino, and two amino group are present at a time. So it is diamine. Let us solve this example, the third one. What we would do, first of all, we will identify the heteroatom. The heteroatoms are these first, and second are these, and this one is ring. In very first class, I told you the ring containing compound are arene functional group. And this one, if we consider the general formula, the last one are carbonyl OH. Do you remember which functional group was that? That is carboxylic acid. And now the nitrogen containing group, that is the part of that topic. Here nitrogen is NH2 form and the whole body would be R. So if it is NH2R, it would be which functional group? NH2R. It is, we can say, amino functional group again, primary amine. Let us do some more examples. Okay, I'm going to draw the structures over here so that you can recall remaining two. If I have this thing over there in which I have nitrogen, O2, and this chain. So what should be the criteria? First of all, we will try our best to identify the heteroatom. Heteroatoms are there, NO2, and the remaining one is 1, 2, 3, 4 member carbon chain. So whenever there is RNO2, can you name this group? What is the name of group? Nitro compound. This one is called nitro compound. If we have this one, or if we have this one, which type of functional groups are present over here? It is simply 1, 2, 3, 4 member ring, 4 member chain, sorry, and CN. So it is RCN, and the name is nitrite. Again, first group is arene, and after arene there is alkyl, and then CN. So both of these groups, CN, either in closed form or in open form, these are nitrile. Nitrile. Hope you understand this nitrogen containing functional group. Inshallah, in next class, we will continue with the whole revision with examples. Thank you for joining. Hafiz.